Hey there berries, welcome to the support 13.12 tier list. Sorry that there was no tier list video yesterday. A lot of things came up in real life, so I wasn't actually able to make a video, but here we are. So the patch is live across all servers. Usually bring out these tier lists a day before that, but the patch is currently live and ready to go. So if you're watching this, you can play the 13.12 right now. Lots of support nerfs going into this patch. There are a couple of support buffs which we'll go over, but generally the buffs overall aren't too crazy, but there are some nerfs that you need to take note of in terms of champions and items this time. So going down, Ashe has been buffed. They're basically saying Ashe is too weak as AD carry and support, which is kind of weird that they mentioned support because I always thought that Riot didn't want Ashe to be support viable with a lot of their changes in the past, so it's weird how they're mentioning how they kind of want her to be going back into support, also by looking to give support Ashe some strength for buffing the AP ratio of her ultimate, but with them massively reducing the cooldown of her ultimate earlier on in the season, that's been the main big impact. But overall, what do we have? Bonus damage on the passive, doesn't really affect support Ashe that much. The volley damage though is a little bit significant on the earlier levels. It's basically, 10 damage per rank. It's okay. And then it's like the arrows being buffed by 20% AP ratio. I don't know. This isn't doing anything for Ashe support. I can see what they're trying to do. Honestly, if they wanted this to be a thing, they should probably make this a 200% AP ratio, and then we can then talk about doing AP Ashe. I know there's like an Echoes of Hylia build with Font of Life, but honestly, I think it's pretty bad. So put this to 200 AP, and then we can talk Riot. Gangplank, Gragas, Cassante, Okay, so Cogmore is getting nerfed. Take note of this. So Cogmore W damage, that's his main attack range and damage. That's getting reduced, but also Lulu, Yuumi, and Milio are getting hit this patch, and Ardent Sansa. So Cogmore got giga nerfed this patch, but also, those enchanters I mentioned, they're also getting direct nerfed, plus Cogmore being nerfed means like they're in an extremely kind of bad spot right now. Lucian getting nerfed, which means the power potential with Lucian Nami goes down, and Lucian Milio. This mainly got hit because of look, Nami and Milio are particularly strong, but basically it was mainly Milio recently proccing it the most, but Lucian was apparently deemed too strong with that. Cheeky mention of Nami. I never really felt like Nami Lucian was particularly too strong after the recent changes, but yeah, Lucian's been nerfed as well, so that also affects Milio too. So Lulu is now weaker in lane. She's -3 armor. The Pix damage, which is the passive, reduced dramatically on early stages, literally halved. Shield value on the Pix has been increased to make up for that, which is quite interesting, but this is quite a massive change when you're buffing an ally. The damage is going to be dramatically reduced earlier on. Also, Lulu's auto attacks with the Pix is also going to be a lot lower as well. We're talking quite a lot of damage, like 50-ish damage in a trade very early on is quite massive. So yeah, Lulu got hit quite hard quite early. Milio also getting the same sort of similar nerfs. He's got the armor nerf, armor growth nerf. 2 armor doesn't sound like a lot, but it kind of is in the very early stages of laning phase. It is. Passive also getting nerfed dramatically. Flat 15% AD scaling compared to up to 35%. So Milio is getting gutted on his passive. I think this is potentially too much, but we'll see where that goes. Going into Rel. Rel had a rework last patch, and it was bad. They giga buffed her after a few days, it might have been after a week, and they gave her loads of stuff, like huge damage values and stuff. Rel jungle then suddenly started becoming a thing. Rel, after the hotfix, was tier 1/tier 2. She is getting nerfed in like damage, This Q cast time though is a really nice buff. 0.5 seconds, 0.4. That may not sound like a lot, but it just felt kind of sluggish to use the Q. Hopefully this gives it some more snap and make it more much easier to actually land the Q. So it doesn't really matter that the damage has been reduced, but it means that just that difference there can help just pop off that shield just in time before any other damage comes through. So technically it's kind of like against shielded targets, this is actually a damage buff. If you're knocking off the damage before some more damage comes through, knocking off the shield before more damage comes through, this is actually technically a damage buff for Rel and her team. W crash down, like it's a slight nerf, nothing crazy. The E did get a little bit nerfed here though, so 1% off of the target maximum HP got reduced. So the E damage got nerfed by a decent-ish amount. This is probably going to prevent people from even maxing E first. I think there were a few people that were doing that, but I think now it's absolutely like max W, then your E, and then your Q. But Rel's looking pretty decent right now. Rumble, a bunch of changes. Rise, a bunch of changes. Sivir getting slightly buffed, but they're also nerfing her attack damage growth, which is kind of weird. Yuumi getting nerfed quite a bit actually, so her W getting reduced quite significantly. E, also her shield getting nerfed quite significantly. The attack speed as well has been changed from flat 35 to scaling, and her ultimate has been nerfed. So basically Yuumi was potentially viable, and they're making it sure again that she's not viable. So yeah. Zeri is, I believe, getting nerfed again. For the god knows how many time maybe. Is she getting nerfed? Movement speed increased, passive removed, Q passive replaced in its place. Q no longer activates Sheen. E critical strike. I don't know what's going on with Zeri. Someone tell me in the comment section. I can't be bothered to read that. But like, if it's a nerf, once again, like Lulu Zeri was a thing as well. I have no idea if this is a buff or a nerf. They haven't even been cleared to. It seems like a mini rework for her here. But yeah, Lulu Zeri was the main one, and Lulu's already been like nerfed kind of as well. So yeah, it's rough. Ardent Censer, big nerf, on hit damage 15 to 30 to flat 15. So that basically makes, you know, how like Ardent Censer or Staff of Flowing Water, you're pretty much going to be choosing Staff of Flowing Water like 85 to 90% of the time, unless you have a significant amount of, you know, auto attackers on your team. Then you're not really going to be leaning into Ardent Censer. Staff of Flowing Water is giga strong, and it's going to be absolutely the standout item over Ardent Censer for like 90% of compositions. If you have literally like no AP on your team, then Ardent will be better. But like apart from that, like Staff of Flame Water should be the optimal take. Anything else here? Imperial Mandate got nerfed, so that's going to hit Nami a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I like this. They're saying like Imperial Mandate is OP. I don't know how I feel about this. If it was so OP, they haven't really nerfed it by any significant amount in my opinion. In fact, the movement speed buff there is actually quite nice. But they're like, oh, but people were taking it second. They was like, were they really though? Were they really? In the majority of my games in high elo, in the last patch, Imperial Mandate second, maybe on Nami. I think Janna's was still going like, you know, Ardent or Staff or Redemption and things like that. Like I don't think. I don't know. I hate this bit as well. The item is overpowered and is contributing to League being at one of its burstiest points in recent memory. Well, maybe that's got something to do with the champions and the new other items and things that you've been bringing in and stuff. I don't think it's really just Imperial Mandate. I think Imperial Mandate is like on the low end of the reason why there's been so much damage in the game recently. But whatever. Moonstone is getting buffed quite significantly. The main significant thing from this, I would actually say, so basically there's numbers going on. They're going into flat non-scaling but on a higher percentage amount. So if you rush Moonstone, you're actually going to get rewarded quite nicely. But the mythic passive being changed from haste to heal and shield power, that's going to be fantastic for like stuff like Sona and stuff, because on Sona you've already got like your haste passive. Stacking on more haste on top of that, you're not getting that much, but healing shield power is absolutely amazing. So yeah, Moonstone on Sona should feel much nicer now. I'm really looking forward to actually testing out Sona with Moonstone this patch. So yeah, Moonstone, keep an eye out for that. Other than that, nothing else really going on. Yeah. So basically, lots of hyper carry support nerfs, with like the Lulu, the Milio, the Yuumi, Ardent Sense are being nerfed, Kog'Maw being nerfed, Imperial Mandate got nerfed a little bit. It's not as dramatic as they're saying it is. And then the Moonstone also getting buffed. So, what does that look like in the actual tier list? Looks to like Yuumi and Lulu are basically in tier 4. Lulu got moved down from tier 3 to tier 4, do not recommend. Still don't recommend you play the Ashe, by the way. I'm still putting that in tier 5. I don't think, no, just don't do it. It's just absolute garbage. Don't do it. Tier 3, we have, you've got the Milio. He was tier 2, he's been moved down to tier 3. He should still be okay to play, particularly on the higher brackets, like Gold Plus. I wouldn't play him necessarily before then. Other than that, nothing really else to discuss. None of these other champions really got changed this patch, and they're kind of just staying there. Going up into tier 2, Rel I did put in tier 3 on the rework. On the rework, she was actually more like tier 4 or tier 5. Then she got giga buffed, and then that got put her into like tier 1 to 2. After the kind of slight nerf / minor buff as well at the same time, tier 2. I think she's a solid tier 2 pick. Keep an eye on the win rates. She could easily fall into tier 1. Definitely tier 1 or tier 2 champion Rel right now. Doing really, really well. Really well. And yeah, sleeper pick here is actually Annie. No one's playing Annie support, but I am 100% confident that she's actually good. I honestly keep forgetting to play her as well, so that doesn't help things. I think Annie is super underrated right now, and I think Annie is a sleeper pick. Other than that, nothing too crazy or particularly too special there in the tier 2. It's kind of been roughly the same. But we do have someone new in tier 1, and that's Soraka. So as Riot kind of mentioned, Moonstone Soraka, she was like literally the only one who could use Moonstone to its pretty much full effectiveness. Well, guess, you know, Moonstone kind of got buffed a little bit again, guys. So yeah, Soraka, not only getting her main item buffed, she is also didn't get nerfed. So she's going to do pretty well. That's it, really. She should be doing pretty well this patch. Minimum tier 2. I'm fairly confident she's going to be tier 1. Sona also can have a good time with the patch. I think the mythic passive change is huge for her. Yeah, Jenna's also doing super good. I believe someone said there's some Zara changes coming in next patch to make her even better, so she could be in tier 1 by herself actually. But yeah, Zara's solid pick, Janna's solid pick, Nami honestly even after the Imperial Mandate change, and Lucian being nerfed slightly, Nami is a solid enchanter still to play, particularly if you're gold plus. If you're lower than that, then I would just recommend just sticking with like something like the Sona or the Soraka. Or even the Janna. I think Nami is just a little bit too high mechanical like for most people. So if you're in gold, go for it. If you're below gold, I would urge you to try out the Soraka if you wanted something a bit more involved than something like the Sona. But yeah, and also Mumu tier 1 still. I think he's another sleeper pick still that's not really picked up too often, kind of off meta-ish. But yeah, Mumu really good. Annie really good off picks if you want those off picks. Rel rising up, Soraka rising up, so yeah, expect to probably see more Soraka and Rel in your games, I'd imagine. Anyway, hopefully tier list helps you out, gets you on the right path of what's happening this patch, and keep an eye out for the next one for apparently Zyra changes next patch. All the best, take care. If you do like these tier lists, be sure to subscribe if you like support the content, and I basically upload videos pretty much every single day on this channel, so yeah, there'll be a new support video tomorrow for you to watch. And also I stream support stuff and I've been doing TFT. Oh, and also hit level 100 in hardcore Diablo 4. That took way too long. That took like 120 hours. I'm ashamed of myself. But I'm gonna get my name on a statue at Blizzard headquarters. So yeah. Yeah, anything else to say? No, just subscribe. Take care. See you on stream. Yeah. Bye.